I'll only use
I'm gonna put more.
clay because it draws like with a.
So when you do the wood fires, you burn them for 2 weeks. Well, there's different firings. Some people do them for 3 days. Some people do them for 2 weeks. It depends. The one that I go to, they last 2 weeks, and the results are awesome.
And the firing is called an anagama firing. The temperature, what they do is underneath there is a little hole. So that's open usually, and that's where we're going to start the fire when it's all loaded. But it starts by loading it in the back, and you can go all the way in here, and they go all the way to the back. And in the back, they start, you see there's some bricks that are stacked there. Mm-hmm. On those bricks, but you set them up according to the pieces. You put a shelf. And then you put the pieces, and then you arrange shelves depending on the size of pieces. And you put like a set of shelves all the way to the first little square hole, which is a feeding hole for a box, what they call a box. So that's on the side. Okay, let's take a look at that. Come. So the boxes are these. So there's the front box, which will be open to a certain thing, but what they do is they start loading in the back. And when you look back, it goes all the way to back here. So they would put bricks and shells and art all the way to here. Then they leave the space open at the bottom, and they put shells, crushed shells,
like oyster shells.
Oyster shells, and then they put some pieces in the bottom, and then through here and on the other side there's a hole just like it. Is one of the stoke places.
So you can put wood through there.
You can put wood through there.
When the kiln gets to a certain temperature, we start putting little pieces of kindling in the 2 ports on the side of the kiln that are within areas of shells. At the bottom of that area, there are pieces also. And I have one sculpture that is a boat with a very straight body, and it's really gnarly looking. It looks like it had been at the bottom of the ocean forever. And that's because it was right there. So it gets ashes right on it constantly.
And so once it's all filled up, you brick it all up. It's really great. And then here they leave like a little space where bricks are going to be removed. And so you put a door on that, and then you have bricks up here.
Whoa.
Okay, so that, you start a fire down there, and then like the next day, so it sort of warms up gently.
Whoever's in charge of the kiln has to keep an eye on it, because it's not like you put a little wood and that's it. No, this is like every 5 minutes. It's like constantly.
And the masters, because I'm a newbie, they know like the temperature that should be depending on the firing. So you try to take the same temperature all the way to the back. Then you start again from the front and you go up a little more all the way to the back. And the purpose is to create a lot of ash from the wood you're burning and have that ash melt on the pots.
And that makes the beautiful
And
finish.
that makes the glazes and the beautiful finishes you saw. And so if the piece is very close to those boxes where the wood is thrown in, it's melting and getting the ashes, and then the ashes are melting into the pot, and so it all happens so much. So you get these layers of crusty, exciting things, you know. Whereas the calmer parts, they just get like the heat and then some ashes that flow by. Get stuck on it. That's about it.
Things don't come out looking all the same. Everybody's pieces,
It's very different. It also
different.
depends on the clay that you use and how it was built and where in the kiln it is. And then comes like the kiln got too hot at a certain point. It reduced too much, which means it didn't have enough oxygen for a while. So there's a lot of variations.
It takes about a week for it to cool off. And then we go back up there and do the fun part, unload it.